Hi, welcome to another episode of Our Unspoiled Italy. We recently had a really good question about how we find our fares for our trips and what sites might we use and what strategies. It's actually changed over time. It changes now and again, but I've settled into a pretty regular routine. Now, 7 years ago when we started traveling a lot, I used a lot of third-party sites. One of my favorites was Momondo, and I've used Cheapo Air, and we've looked at Kayak and a couple of others. And then Momondo was great. They would come up with some really good fares on good tickets. And what I mean by good tickets is we fly economy, and there's a few levels of economy. There's economy light, economy, and economy premium. We usually stay in the middle. Economy light, you pay extra for baggage, you pay extra for selecting your seats in advance, you pay for just about everything, and sometimes you can even pay for carry-ons. So we try to avoid that. And I found over the years, more and more of the listings you get off the third-party sites are for economy light. So a few years ago, when this started happening, I start with Momondo. I see what kind of prices there are, and then I go to the airline sites for the airlines that have showed up in the results that I've got from Momondo or Cheapo Air or Kayak. And I'm finding that more and more you can get better deals directly at the airline sites. And I also like the fact that if you have a problem, you're not having to go through a third party to get to the airline. You can go directly to the airline. Any special requests or needs you have, you can deal with the airline because you bought the ticket directly from them. So for us, we go from San Francisco. We've flown just about every airline that'll fly out of San Francisco to Rome. And we've settled on Swiss, Lufthansa, and by extension, because they're connected, United. Those have been the best. We get the best. We've gotten some pretty good deals. We also get the best service from those. Since we travel with the dog, I found that group, United, Lufthansa, and Swiss, do really well with handling our needs for traveling with the dog. So we've kind of settled on that. So we don't stray too much from there. But by the same token, when I'm searching, I'll go to some of the other airlines that service that route. And a couple years ago, we found an extraordinary deal on Air France. And normally I kind of ignore Air France because sometimes they're more expensive than the others. And I don't know why, but mainly that. But we got a really good routing and a good price, so we bought that. So I devote some time to searching. I do it over several days. It's amazing how prices will change, and sometimes buying early is the best, sometimes it isn't. It's a really tough one. I know most people like to know as far in advance as they can, when they're flying, and they plan that far ahead. We're not that kind of people. We tend to make a decision usually a month out, and I try to keep it within a month out. And when I decide that, I start spending a lot of time doing searches. I'll do them. Arena will do them. one of the things I've read about and have found from experience is all these sites know you're looking for tickets after pretty quickly, and they will adjust prices accordingly. Sometimes in your favor, sometimes not in your favor. Sometimes they just hold on to a price, even though if you were to use another browser or another computer, you might find an absolutely different price for the same ticket. So it's a game. You have to have some patience. This spring we really had problems finding any decent fares. It was crazy this year. From about May through the end of summer, prices were astronomical, and I was a little bit afraid that we were being priced out of the reasonable costs for this trip. We had gotten kind of complacent in that we had an area that we could that we would pay, and it was reasonable, and it made it affordable to go as many times as we did. This year, in the middle of the year, it really just didn't. And I was a little bit worried. And then probably in October, Arena started looking and coming up with some prices, and they were starting to look good. And I couldn't commit just because I have a work schedule this year that's really crazy. And in fact, I just basically now had to say, I'm going, that's it. It's going to be the holidays. I know my clients are going to slow down no matter what they say. So I just went for it. But we did get some good tickets. It took me, well, actually mostly Arena looking for a few days. She came upon what looked like they were going to be this standard good price. And when I went and started looking, that's the number I came up with. So we bought. We tend to buy based on, like I said, airlines and times. If you're traveling with a pet, a good tip is try to get a night flight. We usually fly out of San Francisco at 8:30 in the evening, and for our dog, it's the end of her day. She's ready to go to bed. She will sleep the whole trip. We've gone earlier, and she's been good about it, but I feel like it's putting a strain on her to ask her to be immobile during a time of day when she's normally active. So, and it's a good flight too. It's a good route. Swissair and Lufthansa both have that routing, so we use that. So we're kind of constrained a little bit because of our requirements for a flight, but we've done pretty good. And like I say, the main thing is the discount sites are not getting the good tickets like they were 4 or 5 years ago. The airlines have realized if they give you the deal, you'll come to them, straight to them, and they don't have to pay a commission. So my biggest tip would be play one off the other. Look at the cheap travel sites, but also when you find something, go to the actual airline site. A couple of times I've actually found prices on the discount sites and then gone to, let's say, Swissair, and I actually got a flight and the routing I wanted cheaper. So it's a lot of it's a little bit of work, but if you have a plan, like start here, then go there, and then compare the two, and then give it some time, you usually come up with something pretty reasonable. Like I said, the most unreasonable time we found is this spring. Everybody finally decided to travel again, and the airlines took advantage of that and didn't drop their prices. But they're back to normal now. The prices we just found are, I think, pretty consistent with what we've paid over the years. Wasn't terrible. That's my tips. That's how we do it. If you have any other suggestions or tips on how you find your tickets, we'd love to hear them in the comments, which you could put below. because we'll share those in another video. But for now, hope to see you in Italy, and happy hunting for your tickets. Oh, and also if you like this video, please like it, subscribe so you can keep up with what we're doing, and if you smash the bell button, you will be notified whenever a new video comes out. Ciao.